Don't forget to stay till the end of the video for our year-end weigh-out. Welcome back to the Glacial Gold Hunter. We're in Wisconsin, which is a gold-bearing state, and we're gonna go see how much gold we can find today. Now, I've been to this river before, but I've never been to this particular spot, so I'm gonna do a little bit of prospecting and see if it's worthy of me getting my sluice and all the rest of my crap. Now, I have people ask me all the time if I know if there's gold in their particular area. I don't. I've been in this creek before, but I don't know if there's gold right here or not. But this is how you find out.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Now the panning process is pretty easy and straightforward. All the heavy material sinks to the bottom and you strip off the light material. And once you see that black sand, you start tossing it back and reveal there's no gold. And that happens quite a bit. You'll dig in a place and there's no gold. Doesn't mean there's no gold in the stream, you just gotta dig in a different area, maybe a little deeper. But in this case, I'm gonna move to a different area. Here's a nice inside bend with a nice gravel bar, and I found gold here in the past, but I found some on the outside bend. So I'm going to check the inside bend, check the outside bend, and see if we can find a good string today. It's been a bit cold, so I guess we got to stick to what's underwater. Everything above ground is frozen.
Let it go.
Big piece of quartz. Whoa. That's pretty thick ice. Jeez. So there's a couple really small pieces on the inside bend dig. Let's check the outside bend. Wow. That's a pretty nice flake of gold. And up here, I got a bunch of little pieces as well. Not bad for an outside bend. So typically they'll tell you to look on the inside bends and behind rocks and all that stuff, but gold is where you find it. And right there on that outside bend, I found a big piece of gold, big, and more specks than the inside bend. So I could keep hunting and maybe find a better spot, but I'm gonna just set up right here on this outside bend, classify some buckets, and start sluicing some material. Maybe we'll find a picker. There we got our first bucket full of classified material. There's something I want to show you in the tailings pile. Here's our geology lesson of the day. So in the tailings I have two rocks that look very similar. One is quartz, the other is quartzite. Here's the difference. You see this has that vitreous luster that quartz has, that glassy kind of look to it. But you can see how granular it is. This was actually sandstone at one time, and with a little bit of heat and pressure, it's compressed and cemented all together. So that was a quartz arenite sandstone, which is now quartzite, a metamorphic rock. Quartz, you can see, is a lot more jagged. Very similar, same vitreous luster, but you can see this has big crystals in there. And this is what the gold comes from. At least I think it's what it comes from. Now, sometimes quartz chunks like this can have gold, but a lot of times they're empty. But dirty pieces of quartz like this can have gold in there and other minerals. And they call pieces like this a breccia. All that broken up rock is the breccia, and it gets infilled with the quartz. And a lot of times those are your high grade mineralization zones. I don't know if there's anything in here, but there could be. Might be worth taking this home and crunching it up. But there's no point in crunching up quartzite. There's not any gold in that for sure. Crystalline quartz though, maybe. That's still one of our upcoming projects. Alright, so I got 2 buckets classified here. My sluice is set up. I'm gonna run both of them back to back and then clean it out. I'm hoping to have a big pile of gold by the end of the day. And I think we're gonna do our year-end weigh-out. Tally up all the gold I found throughout the whole year of mining and see how much it is. Believe it or not, it's December. This is a heat wave. In a few days, it's gonna be -3. So this is my last chance to get a good pile of gold. I'm supposed to have one of these buckets to sit on. I filled it with dirt instead.
Well, that was dumb.
Forget who it is, but one of you keeps saying, you only have so many bendovers. That's better. I'll save some of my bendovers and take a seat. Can't believe this is the first time I've sat down sluicing. This is way nicer. I sure hope this thing is catching gold. I'm not seeing a lot of gold on my indicator mat. It's not really an indicator mat, it's a capture mat. But it doesn't capture very well, so I call it an indicator mat. All these little V's get plugged up really quick. So gold doesn't really stick there, it just kind of runs right off. But sometimes I do catch some bigger pieces. I rarely see gold on that though. I feel like the guy in Assassin's Creed became a gold miner. Maybe he was a gold miner when he wasn't assassinating people. You don't know.
What a vivid imagination.
I sure don't. I'm not a gamer. I used to play RuneScape though, and I spent a lot of time in the mines. I could mine rune. Not so much time I spent in the mines. Oh, I finally see a speck in the indicator mat. It's hard to see it with all the water, but right there, you can see some gold. There's 2 buckets back to back in that sluice, and I'm hoping we got a good amount in there. You know what they say about hope?
Hope can drive a man insane.
2 buckets reduced to that. Give it a quick toss back. See a nice line of gold up there. Nice. So there's gold specks all over in there. That's a good amount of specks. They're not very big, but there's a lot of them. So that's a good number of specks for an outside bend, I'd say. But I'm not seeing the bigger pieces that I wanted. They're all still pretty small. So I'm gonna fill my hole and keep hunting for some more. They separated a bunch of pieces of quartz here that I'm gonna take home and add to my crush up pile.
Sounds exciting.
Now, you know the saying, if you want to go far, go with a group. If you want to go fast, go alone. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to prospect until I find something good, so I'm going to leave the camera and everything here. Well, here's my next spot I'm going to set up on. That's one pan full right there. A lot of little specks all throughout there. Some bigger specks down along that side. This one pan probably has more than those 2 buckets I just sluiced out. Let's set up. So I came down the stream here, and there's not really any obvious spot. The river channel runs down here, and there's a gravel bar that packs up right there, but that's all froze, so I can't dig there. But right here, there's another little shallower spot where it looks like good gravels are depositing, like just look like the right material. I took a scoop right there, and there was good gold. All my batteries are dead, so I'm gonna use the iPhone the rest of the time, and hopefully that works out. But I'm gonna start classifying some buckets and running material from that spot. There's some gray clay. That's always nice to see. Doesn't really seem like I'm on a clay layer though. It just seems like it's mixed in. It's that gray clay. So in the tailings, I just pulled out this piece of quartz and looked close. Look at this. Can you see those golden specks in there? Sure looks like gold in that quartz.
Wishful thinking.
All right, we got our bucket classified. Now we gotta sluice this. I think I'm just gonna sluice 1 bucket at a time from now on. That's the last of it. I'll let it clear out just a little bit. I can see some nice pieces in the mat. One really nice piece right there. Never mind, it's not a piece of gold. It's just a light colored rock. There's pieces of gold all over on that edge there. And still some in the black sand. Awesome. So I'm just gonna keep running some more buckets. There's the next one. Look how pretty that jasper is. I'm distracted. I may or may not have just heard a living Sasquatch off in the distance. That's the last thing I need is a Sasquatch coming to get my gold. It's either a Sasquatch or a cow. Either way, I don't want to see either one. But that bucket's all sluiced down. Let's take a peek. And there's a lot of little specks there. Nothing big, but there's a lot of them. A couple bigger ones in the black sand there.
It's hard to see.
The sun's starting to fade just a little bit. Do I have time for another bucket? I think I got time.
Yeah, I've got time.
Now I just filled the hole of the place we were digging, and I'm gonna fill the next bucket in a different spot. I'm gonna take it right from the middle of the river. Now there's no really bend, there's no buildup. There is there, and somebody's been digging there, but that's all frozen. Let it go. But right here, it's just the middle of the river. I tested this and I found some good pieces. And the way I figure, when the stream is moving the gold, the heaviest pieces are gonna stay low, just kind of dragging on the bottom. They're not necessarily gonna get pushed up. Maybe, because the gold's so heavy, it's hard to get it like up, lifted up into the water. That's my theory. So it makes sense that the heavy gold would be in the bottom of the river, right? I don't know, but I'm a curious person, so I'm gonna take a bucket right there. It's right in the middle of the river. It's not on the list of places to dig, but I'm digging there. It's not full, but it's full enough. Let's test it. Let's go see how much of a waste of time that was. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think there's a picker in there. All right, let's see how many pickers are just sitting at the bottom of the river.
The grand total out of that cut was 408.95 ounces.
Well, there's definitely still gold there. Still really small pieces, nothing big. But right in the middle of the river, there's still gold. Gold is where you find it. The only way to know where it is to put your shovel in the ground and test it. All right, I'm gonna add that to my concentrates and head on home and tally up our year-end weigh-out. But I gotta get out of here before the Sasquatch gets me. Last thing I need is to find a Sasquatch in the dark. All right, we're back at headquarters. We're gonna get this cleaned up and weighed up, and we're gonna weigh up everything we've gotten in our vial over the whole season. We'll see how well we did. As usual, to clean it up, I'll be using my Flour Gold Wizard cleanup sluice, specially made for the flour gold that we find around here. As usual, I classify it with my kitchen strainer, and I got my fines and my bigs. I'm gonna pan out my bigs just to see if there's any nuggets. There were no nuggets. All right, so I know all my gold is in here. Nice to see gold sprinkled all over those riffles. So as usual, that made quick work of those concentrates. Now's the fun part. And there's what we got. Some nice pieces of gold. Well, we weren't in the hottest spot there, but we tried some different locations just to kind of experiment. And we still found some good pieces of gold. All right, I'm gonna put that on the scale, see what we got.
10, 20.
0.014 grams.
That ain't good.
Worth $1.19 US. So where's the rest?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
In this file resides the entirety of my first season of flour gold mining. See if my mining business is gonna make it.
$110, $120, $130.
0.268 grams.
Worth $250,000.
How about that? Over a quarter gram. That's worth a total of $22.81. That's a lot of shovelfuls of dirt, a lot of heavy buckets lifted, a lot of miles driven to get it. Many, many hours represented in this little tray. Some people say it's a waste of time. Waste of time is relative. I don't think I've wasted any time. It's been a heck of a year. Thank you so much for watching. Come on back for season 2. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.